Hello, Sherry, and welcome to the Make Life Rich Movement podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hi, thank you, Sarah, for having me.
You guys, we are in for not only a treat today, but we are going to get to know the ins and outs of a legacy beauty brand that all of you are aware of and have been wearing since you were quite young. Sherry West is the Global Brand Marketing Director of Black Radiance Cosmetics. She has such an illustrious career that I'm also just like kind of amped to hear about because you have worked on so many cool things and landing at Black Radiance, like the pinnacle of what I consider the original makeup company that everyone just remembers being so vibrant, and your color lines were always so diverse, and it was just like nothing else you would see on the shelves. And it just like made all the girls that love playing with makeup feel excited to try new colors and branch out and like show their individuality. And I'm just really excited to speak with you today. It's a pleasure.
Well, we're excited to talk about Black Radiance, where the brand has been, where it's going to. So thank you for having us.
It's really exciting for me. The first time that I remember this company and a lipstick was, I think, in like 1996. I was younger. It was my best friend's mother. It was what she would put on for church. I would go with them sometimes, and I just like knew her makeup routine. And
Mhm.
then throughout her life, she always wore it. It was like a thing when I would be running to CVS, she'd be like, pick me up my lipstick and like I need some new nail polish. Like she always like knew what she wanted that was new, that had come out, that she didn't get yet.
Mm.
So I just remember the versatility. There was always new products coming out, which at the time was so different from all of the other beauty brands that you would find in like CVS or Target, once Targets were kind of more widespread throughout, I guess, less cities. But is there really, I guess, a mantra to Black Radiance, not only staying ahead of the curve with trends, but creating trends? Because I feel like you have always been at the forefront of kind of pushing the envelope for makeup, even before MAC. I feel like
Mhm.
MAC really didn't get their foot in the door quite yet when you were still the number one makeup company out there, just kind of like also utilizing palettes. I'm sorry, I get so excited because the history of what this makeup company has done inadvertently for makeup in general, I think, has been really understated.
Yeah. I think, when you think about Black Radiance, we just recently celebrated 30 years as a heritage brand, right? So 1993, it came out, hit the ground running. Um, to come up with a product that was inclusive of browner skin tones, right? So that alone makes it this niche brand that said, okay, we are going to market to an underserved community, a consumer that really is underrepresented. And
Mhm.
it has had that staying power. Our colors are so pigmented. Like you said, your friend, mom would say, "Go pick up my makeup," and our colors have to be so pigmented so that it shows up on our skin tones. And I think that that has been our staying power, to be on trend, to be ahead of the curve, to say, hey, we're going to represent not everybody out there, but we're going to represent an underserved community that is,
Mhm.
that's trying other people's products that don't necessarily work for them. And I
Mhm.
think that has been our staying power because it's generational. We'll meet consumers or influencers, and they'll say their first experience with makeup, just like your friend, that their mom was using it, and then that they
Mhm.
used it, and then they're passing it down. So we're like Gen XYZ, probably boomers as well. But
Mhm.
when we look at who we market to, we're marketing to generations. Because being around 30 years is nothing to sneeze at, because some brands just don't even last that long, and some
Mhm.
haven't been around that long. So and then those that are coming up, they're looking at us. What has Black Radiance done? What are they doing? Right? Because we occupy so much shelf space in the mass market.
Mhm. It's not only impressive, it's just kind of what has set the tone for what any kind of makeup brand needed to aspire to. I
Mhm.
do remember very distinctly you having way more shelves
Mhm.
worth and just the palettes themselves look completely different than the very rudimentary products that still kind of resembled like the baby makeup kits you would get for a small kid that like
Mhm.
might have a little fake powder in it, but they were just so basic looking. And I do remember the brand was not only pushing different pigments and colors and eyeshadows, just giving a wide variety, but
Mhm.
it was also kind of pushing the envelope with the packaging. It really did bring like a luxury feel at a
Mhm.
time where no one really even thought about wanting that to be like an experience for themselves. Has that always kind of been something that Black Radiance is focused on when they were kind of putting together the next line to come out and just evolving?
Yeah, I think it was a very conscious decision to have very sleek packaging, but not too much packaging. Because even when you look at like where um, people's consciousnesses are today, like reducing the carbon footprint, being clean, if you have too much packaging, that's a lot of waste that you don't need, right? And so
Mhm.
the more packaging you have, the more the product's going to cost. So we minimize our packaging, that minimizes our carbon footprint.
Mhm.
There's so many things that go on within this brand that I'm seeing and that I champion, right? Because we have great ingredients that are similar to some of the more expensive brands, but at the same time, and we're on trend. And so at the same time, we can give you a great product at a reasonable cost. And then we're doing things like I said, they're vegan, clean, reducing our carbon footprint, all those things that you want in a brand,
Mhm.
and I think that's very important today because our consumers are very smart. They're very
Mhm.
conscious. They're very environmental. They care about, you know, even global warming, those sort of things. So, like, if you're hitting some of those sweet spots and you have a product that lasts long, and it gives you that wear that you want, or
Mhm.
that feeling, how you want to express yourself. That's really important in keeping the brand relevant among the people you're trying to reach.
Yeah. And it's also very comforting to always kind of see. I'm a publicist, so I probably spot these things quicker than others, but Black Radiance is in all of the magazine covers. Regina King is going to be on the cover of Harper's Bazaar for April.
Yes, April. Yeah, it's already, I think it's
Oh,
starting to hit the newsstands because we already got word, and we've
oh,
already posted on our social. So her
beautiful.
entire, I think she's got like 5 or 6 designer looks, and Black
Yeah.
Radiance is on her face on each of
Oh.
those looks. So
And
we're
makeup
like,
artist
result.
Letice Johnson was the
Yes.
artist that got that out in the spread. It's just, I think without it's not a comparison, but it is a comparison because these days we're flooded with choices and it comes down to the nitty-gritty of is this product worthy of professionals also using it? I think when makeup was still very much a drugstore product rather than something you'd go to a department store for or expect department store prices, there was a very low caliber of makeup that could be used for professional purposes. But Black Radiance was always the product that a professional makeup artist, regardless of what they were, whose complexion they were working with, they
Mhm.
absolutely were using eyeshadows. Like I remember very early in my career always seeing it as a staple in the makeup bag because of the pigmentation, because of the formulation so that they're spreading and not caking. Like it, there was just so much detail that you
Mhm.
could tell went into the creation of the products that
Mhm.
was in essence to make it the perfect thing to be used professionally but also for everyone else. Was that like a conscious decision to make it professional quality but something that everyone could afford?
Yes, 100%. And then, we also have been finding out recently as we're out in the industry or at trade events and things like that, is that and being close to Hollywood really helps. We're finding that major studios are coming up to us and say, thank you for Black Radiance, because when we are putting makeup on our actors, they are going to Black Radiance like foundations because they can't match the tones of the African American or African actors who need, makeup just like all the other characters or actors. And they said, we use Black Radiance all the time. And so while we're not marketing to the studios but these, makeup artists, they know what they need to
Mhm.
match various skin tones. And because um, our community has like a plethora of skin tones from the lightest to the darkest, and being able to match those skin tones is critical. And like, I think we even had Samara Joy, who won the Grammy. Her makeup artist posted, we actually wanted to sponsor, but somebody else got it. And then we saw the post the next day that they used Black Radiance on her anyway, and they had to run around and get our contour palette. It was like, oh my God, we're just like screaming because we're like, oh my gosh, like that our palettes come in so many different ranges and tones, and they meet a lot of different needs for especially makeup artists. Like any celebrity has to
Mhm.
have a makeup artist, and
Mhm.
being able to get that look that they're trying to achieve, especially when they know they're being photographed and they need a little bit more drama. Our palettes, our pigments are going to help them pop and express themselves the way that they want to express themselves.
Ugh.
So we're just like thrilled that people literally are running around going, oh my God, if they're out of something and they
Yeah.
post that I ran to like 5 stores just to get this one palette. So because they're selling out, that's wonderful for us.
Mhm. And I can like literally envision exactly what that means because in my hometown, it's so funny. You guys had the perfect red lip. All the
Mhm,
cheerleaders of all the high schools had to wear this red lip.
mhm,
The only place to get it was two CVS's in our entire town. And once they were gone, tough luck and you had to wait until the restock came in. But it is kind of so impressive for me to have had that experience the 4 years I was in high school and then have that also be something that's still like people are clamoring for the tried and true products because they trust them. Like what
mhm,
does that feel as a brand director to hear repeatedly that people trust your product? It's great if they love what it looks like and what it does, but to
mhm,
have the trust, especially of professionals that are like, no, no, you don't understand. I keep this in the back. Like this is always on stock. I don't let this like fall out of my hands. Like what does that feel like for someone whose job it is to express to the world how great these products are?
Well, it means a lot of different things. Well, first of all, the numbers don't lie. When you have repeated shades that end up in the top 10 all the time, right? And then me coming in from a different industry and having used other products and going, okay, let's see what all the hubbub is about and start using them and go, oh my God, I've been missing out. and and then I just start endorsing, the products that we carry, and I just go, wow, this is amazing. How did I not know? And then it also helps me to market, right? To market specific products based on wearing them every day and trying them in new colors. And I was not a big red lipstick wearer until I got to Black Radiance and started experiencing the different colors and found that I like myself in red. I like your red that you're wearing today, um, but I'm wearing a different red. But we have like these wonderful shades from the brightest red to the darkest, like as plums or whatever, and then everything in between. So it does mean a lot when you see again certain shades that have been around almost, I want to say, not to say forever because we've only been around
Mhm.
30 years, but to when you hit a product or a color, maybe it started out as a trend, but then it hit really well and resonated with so many consumers
Mhm.
that it just stays on the line. And whether it's the component may change, but the color itself doesn't change. You may add in another color here or there, but like our Eldorado red and our Reggae red, uh, we couldn't get rid of them even if we wanted to. So, and so we're not. It's going to
People
stay
would
around
protest.
for a while. Yeah, because well, reds have just been a staple in a lot of women's handbags or purses for years. And if you just have that right red that just works with so many different skin tones, doesn't matter even what nationality you are.
Mhm.
A great red is a great red.
Mhm. And it certainly does change the mood, and it certainly does give you a little pep in your step, which is such a beautiful thing for you to be able to bring to, a world of women that are happy they can afford to go buy a new lipstick. Like, I think it's very impressive that over the years you are still literally an affordable luxury makeup experience. What has kind of gone into making sure that that remained the same? Some brands have evolved or tried to, you know, have these second level lines that are triple the cost of their typical products, and they seem to not do so well. But what were the thought processes behind keeping it something that is truly affordable?
Well, again, we go back to not too much packaging, having components that are reasonable, because what you're really buying is the makeup itself, right? And so when we are developing our product, it's really about what's going on your skin and making sure that that product is safe, that is smooth, and we do compare ourselves to other high-end brands, like what makes that creaminess, or but Markwins, which is our our parent company, they've been doing it for 50 years, right? So
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
they have studied this industry and have partners around the world that keep us relevant, right? Because everybody's developing new things, and we have to stay current, and we want to make sure that we're offering to our niche customer, our customer that has been sort of underserved, that you are getting that same quality product with Black Radiance that you're going to get with some of the high-end department store brands. Yeah, we're not may not be spending a lot of money on the packaging, but you also don't have to spend, your lipstick's going to last the same amount of time, right? Because it's got the same height, the same width, but you're going to be able to get it, pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
You can get it online, you can get it at the retail stores, you can run, just run into pretty much a lot of retailers and purchase our
Mhm.
brand. And hopefully you'll be satisfied and keep repurchasing it, because I know if I fall in love with a shade, I'm going to buy it over and over again, because it could be my tried and true, and I know what I'm going to wear, when I need to dress up.
Mhm.
But that everyday look, like you're going to go through it.
Mhm.
Because when people look at your face, it's the first thing they see, and it makes an impression.
Mhm.
So I just find that having your look ready makes you go out and face the world, and how you put yourself together is how you're perceived.
Yeah, it's also so beautiful that in all of your answers, I keep hearing that you want to empower people to feel creative and feel like the best in their skin and like be who they want to be on the outside as they're on the inside. And the
Exactly.
creativity streak, I think, is something that doesn't really get discussed or spoken about much, even though makeup is such a playful thing to have to be able to express yourself with. And I wonder, as someone that graduated from Moore, I lived in Philadelphia for 18 years. So I love where you went to school so much.
Yeah.
I've been to their career fair. Every intern I've ever had has come from that school, except for one, but from the intern fair. But I just have to imagine that there is a big part of you and your creativity that you are kind of imbuing on your role. And
Yeah.
I know it. I can see it in your work. I see it all throughout the Instagram. You can tell there's a personal connection there for someone that truly puts a lot of not only expansion but detail into what is being done.
Well, shout out to Moore College of Art. So thank you for bringing that up. I love my alma mater. And, if I had not gone there, and especially, it's the only all women's art college in the entire country. And the professors put so much into each student. And when I came out, especially, coming out when I did, is like they prepared you to be in a man's world. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean that you can't go out there and conquer the world. And I was fortunate, enough to be recruited from a major design house, fashion design house, before I even graduated. And then those experiences of creating designs, and creating in fashion, you're creating more looks per year than say in the beauty industry, because people change their clothes every day, but you might want to have a similar look on your face for a couple weeks, or you just playing, like you said, playing is a great thing. But fashion and beauty have always gone hand in hand. You just don't have one without the other. I don't care which runway you're coming down, whether it's fashion week, Paris, Copenhagen, whomever, whichever
Mhm.
fashion week, the designer may have that look, but then they're gonna have an idea of what the consumer, who is their target consumer, what's that look they want on their eyes, what's that hairstyle. So being in the beauty industry is just a nice extension of my skill sets that were accepted. And being able to now say, okay, so now what's her whole look? Where's she going? What's she doing? What is she thinking? And to
Mhm.
look at our palettes and go, oh no, she's doing this right now. She's doing that, because every day you change your clothes. But and what's really interesting, based on your questions, I started thinking, you know what? We wipe our face off every day, and we start anew every day, just like with with your clothing. But you may say, okay, like I just want to look like this, I just want to look put together, like I'm ready to face the world. You're changing your clothes, but then you're going, you know what, I'm going out, I'm going on a date, or I'm going to an event, I need to spruce up, I need to do these
Mhm.
things. And beauty gives you that opportunity to express yourself, just like fashion. So the two, just to me, go hand in hand, and it was just like a nice transition into this field because of being an expert in color, styling, trend,
Mhm.
and then a photography side as well. But being able to take those pictures and tell a story, like, and now we live in this age where everything is instant, instant, instant. Being able to tell our consumer story, and it's their story we're telling. Sometimes
Mhm.
I'm telling my story because I am a consumer and I wear the product, and it's a great product. So it's easy to tell a story when you are the consumer.
Mhm.
So it's just like having fun, but also to listening to the consumer. We have to listen to our
Mhm.
retailers. What are they saying? What are the trend reports saying? We're gathering data. We can see if a particular item's not selling well. Why isn't it selling well? There's always a reason in a story, but our main objective is to help our target customer get ready every day and slay. Just get out there and slay the world.
Oh my
One
god, I
day,
love it.
one palette at a time, or two or three palettes at a time, however you want to express yourself. And it's so interesting where we are today. We have so many influencers that are telling a different story every day, and they are tagging Black Radiance. They love certain products, what they can absolutely come to us day in and day out for. And I think if
Mhm.
we were to change it, they would freak out. Some things that if we changed, well, we'd be in trouble. We
Oh
did.
my god.
So,
It's so beautiful. One, you literally came to life when you got to speak about art. And I'm saying this as someone that can see the life in the account, especially the Instagram account for Black Radiance. It's a 30-year-old brand. It
mhm,
one would imagine it's quite difficult to have it feeling so lively and like current and in the know and like creating the trends.
mhm.
But now I know why. You are literally living and breathing your art in the brand work that you are executing for all of the events that you're doing. The BET 55th NAACP Fashion Awards or fashion show was beautiful.
Thank
The makeup looked impeccable and it was just such a beautiful event. What was that event like to be a part of? And like, do you geek out when you get to do these things? Like from a marketing perspective, I'm sure like your heart is like, ooh, this is fun. But how
I
does it feel
do
to be
geek out.
involved?
It
Yeah.
is. Well, one of my friends is TJ Walker, who is one of the founders of Cross Colors. And
Oh,
when I got here, we wanted to partner with a collection or something like that, so that we could just have a story to tell. And it turns out that he's one of the founders of Black Design Collective. So that is like our pet nonprofit organization. And what they do is they have this Black Design Collective is a collaboration of up and coming and established fashion designers
Mm.
from LA. So they're all in Los Angeles, and they support each other. They help each other get to market in a professional way because some of the founders, such as Kevin Hall, who's been designing for
Mm.
celebrity designs for years, Ruth Carter, who won 2 Academy Awards for her work on Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. She's one of the
Wow.
founders. TJ Walker from Cross Colors, which, by the way, they've celebrated 30 years at the same time we celebrated 30 years because of the hip hop movement. So they are this streetwear collaboration that all the best known hip hop artists were wearing cross colors every time you saw them perform on stage, whether it was Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, let's see who else, Salt and Pepper, TLC, all those iconic hip hop brands. So Cross Colors was dressing them. And by the way, spoiler alert, we are doing a collaboration with them with makeup for 2025. So be on the lookout for that. Um, but when we were challenged with, what are we doing in the community, I reached out to TJ and said, hey, can we work together in some sort of way? And that collaboration and supporting their nonprofit organization led to us being invited to participate in the NAACP. This was last year. This is our second year doing it. Last year's NAACP Image Awards fashion show, because they were initiating a new award for both costume design and makeup. So then they asked us to be a sponsor, and we were behind the scenes working with the makeup artists, giving them kits. And so that first year, you had about 50 or 40 or 50 models that came down, all wearing makeup by Black Radiance. And then we were invited again this year as a major sponsor for the fashion show. And so you can see we're doing these stories of how Black Radiance, just like you would see in New York or Fashion Week, behind the scenes of the makeup artist styling by designer. What does that designer want that their models to look like? And Black Radiance was able to meet the demands of each design look that came down the runway. And so, like, if you look at our Instagram, we are highlighting by designer their looks. And so, how Black Radiance was able to transform the models the way that they wanted, the look that you see on the runways, and they were just fierce. So that, I mean, you see like 50 models, male and female, coming down, whether, the men, pretty much had like a foundation and just, just toned down some of their shine, and some had probably mascara on too. But, you need that drama when you want those photographs or those images to appear across now like a global platform with NAACP. That gives us this real global appeal
Mhm.
that, not to say that we've been trying to get, but just not to say serendipitously, but it happened. And it's been this great thing, and it's a great relationship to take an iconic brand like Black Radiance and partner with the NAACP and partner with Black Design Collective or other organizations that, I mean, those are big ones that we've been partnering with, but there are also some of the smaller ones like Black Women in Social Work. We support a lot of initiatives to let them know that we support you because, the consumer has supported us for 30 years. So in
Yes.
turn, we go back out and support the community. We've been along for the struggle, when there wasn't that makeup line that represented women of color or African Americans. So they've been with us along that journey. So we in turn are with them for the journey as well. So from all walks, we're trying to be inclusive, from the everyday worker to the celebrities, and everything in between, because we know that our consumer is doing huge things right now. She's not only a boss babe, she's an athlete. Athletes are wearing makeup. You see the gymnasts wearing makeup.
Mhm.
So we look at Black Radiance as I'm Black Radiance. everybody can be Black Radiance. You're Black Radiance. I'm Black Radiance. We're all that. Um, and we're just seeing where she is. She's astronaut. She's so many different things. She's an influencer. There is just no limit to who our consumer is and what she's doing. And we're there for the ride. We're there to support them in their journey as well.
It's so beautiful because so few companies that have been around and are as big as yours, rarely care about the actual user to the point of making an effort to give back, and not only give back, but, take into consideration what they like in terms of what you're putting out there, or, do they want you to change a formula, or it just seems like there's a really beautiful symbiosis between the customers, your platforms, and then ultimately what you guys are doing on the back end with that.
Mhm.
How does it feel to kind of be in the position where you can kind of make a difference in a quick period of time because of the nature of makeup lines and how quickly they can come out? Is that something that you're like kind of able to see happen in real time, to where you're like, wow, okay, like you guys wanted that and we did it for you. Here it is.
Yeah, actually, having been through a full cycle plus, you get to see it's different than fashion. Like
Hmm.
fashion's turning much more quickly because the retail floor turns very fast. Whereas in beauty, you need time, right? You need a little bit more time to reach the consumer and get them to try it, and then they're going to keep wearing it. Like I say, almost every day. If once they like it, they're going to be wearing it every day. So this process is great to see and hear. Again, you have to listen to the numbers, listen to the data that you're getting from your retailers. But I find also too, being out there with the consumer when we have those opportunities or those events, people are so excited to tell us what they love and what they think, or or maybe there's something that went wrong, and we go check it out. Oh, yep, they're right. And then we're able to make a change. We can change a brush or a component, something that may not work, and we're able to turn it around. But you have to listen. You really do have to listen to your consumer, or you won't be in business.
Yeah.
But what I love about this business is that we put smiles on people's face, that we help them be their best self that they can possibly be.
Mm.
Um, Look, this brand hasn't been around 30 years for no reason, right? So
Mhm.
um, I just think it is important to listen and to hear people and meet their needs. And if you meet your target consumers' needs, you're going to meet your needs as well. And our obviously our need is to sell, but also too is that we're making a difference. Somehow, some way, we don't see it, we don't necessarily always hear it, but I know when I put on my face every day, somebody thought about me. Somebody thought about my needs, or like I know, like Paris will say something. Like I know he was on the call earlier. We have to make sure that our product isn't causing a shadow, like an ashy shadow, and like the more brown or more melanin you have in your skin, those tones have to be sort of absorbed. And if they're not absorbed and they're sitting on the surface, then when
Mhm.
you take a picture, it is might come out a little ghostly. And taking
Mhm.
the time to work with product development teams and our chemists and all those things, all those people who are mixing in the background, people that you don't see, people who are bringing their genius to the game every day, and then the photographers and the models, that it is not a one-man show. Everybody has a part to play in getting you to look the way you look every day. There is so much work to our factories who are sourcing the components, or oh, that's not working, and you keep working it until it comes out right, so that then somebody can go, oh wow, I love this. But it was like 1,000 people to get that one component to where to get it on your face or to get you the blush that you love, right? So much work, from designing the packaging, making sure that not only you're in compliance, what kind of claims are we making? Is it waterproof? Does it hydrate? What do we want? What is the consumer looking for? And can we meet her needs? So that is a, year in the process. So from start to finish, from the time go, okay, so we need another product, or hey, a competitor may have something. Will that work for our customer? Let's try and meet her needs. And then you hit the ground running, and then you're on another journey. Meanwhile, you're still trying to market to the consumer who's buying the existing product. You're still developing new product. So and you're trying to get out in front of people, and also to keep your retailers happy. So it's more than 360 degrees. It's like 360 degrees multiplied by three or so. So
My
um,
goodness.
yeah, there's a lot of degrees, and there's a lot of challenges, and but when you see people smile, it really does make it all worthwhile.
It's insane how emotionally attached the creators that are posting and tagging the Black Radiance on Instagram are attached to the products and the brand. You can literally see a relationship
Hmm.
between them and the brand and the products
Hmm.
in a way that like got me. Like it made me cry when I was watching these videos because it means a certain something when a woman not only respects the product for how it works, like okay, it works great. We all find things that work great. But to find something that truly resonates with who they are, it was made for them, for the
Yeah.
instance of, skin tone
Hmm.
specifically,
Hmm.
you can see there's a love there in a
Hmm.
very sincere manner. There is a love there and there's an appreciation that results in them getting super creative with your products. And then that leads to them creating this content that they're sharing. And it's just such a beautiful circle of creation. It's very granular for sure. But when you pay attention and you look at the details, that's very difficult to have people not only do, but do in the thousands. There are thousands and thousands, YouTube, hundreds and hundreds of videos of makeup tutorials with Black Radiance.
Yeah.
Wow. Like where do you see the community continuing to grow? Because as it stands, you are a heritage brand with generations and generations of families admiring you and just waiting for the next step. Like what is to come for the community of Black Radiance?
Well, I think in order to engage any customer, not just Black Radiance, you have to be ahead of her, her, him, whomever you want, um, just to reach them. And so I think that the next stages for Black Radiance and things to come are more on the augmented reality side of life. You'll start seeing how we are going to use AI and AR to reach our consumers, to engage with them, to say that, just because we're a heritage brand does not mean that we aren't forward. We are forward thinking in our product and on our approach to how we want to reach, especially the Gen Y, Gen Z. They're very digital, and they're very focused on the future. So we have to just kind of like take some leaps and bounds, and just say, okay, let's not just do the status quo. Let's go and see, because we're inundated with so much information out there, and especially technology. How does technology play into the beauty industry? And so there's various different ways that we've been exploring and that we're have adopted, and we're going to move forward with. And you're going to see those things in the coming months on how Black Radiance is using artificial intelligence or artificial reality to engage with our target consumer.
Love it. And it's one of those things that I think a lot of brands wouldn't really ever consider in the beauty industry putting effort and attention into because, makeup's the thing that most women buy in a recession. It'll be their little treat for themselves. So it does, I
Mhm.
think it tends to feel professionally as though it's a safe industry at all times. But I love so much that, again, this company is stretching beyond the limits of what currently exists for the beauty industry. And you're kind of ushering not only to a younger generation, kind of bringing them on board for the products, but you're also bringing along the many generations that have been with you to kind of continue into this direction that we'll be, interacting with on all levels very soon many brands are taking this direction, which I think is really fun, especially for makeup. I can't imagine how cool that will be to like entertain in that arena. So congrats to you guys for that. That's I'm sure that's incredibly difficult work. And it's really neat that you guys are putting effort into that because many aren't.
Yeah, and it also gives us a chance to see a different industry, like partner with a different industry, the
Mhm.
augmented reality type of industry that, like, yeah, how can the two collide? How can we benefit from with, a big, huge gaming industry, but take that and say, hey, can we do something? What's possible? There's so much, everything's like sort of entertaining. And I have to say, being not too far from Hollywood, you start seeing like people experimenting with either film or some sort of technology, and then you're just wowed. And it's like, yeah, somebody's thinking, and somebody's saying, yeah, you know what, I think we can partner, or we did this with a client. Let's see if that'll work. And the fact that we are doing something in that space keeps us on, I think, more cutting edge. So yeah, our product, we're so solid with that. And now if we are to reach this new generation or like a younger consumer, we have to meet them where they are. What makes them tick? you
Mhm.
know, where
Mhm.
where are they going with their makeup journey?
Mhm.
It's different than where you or I went with our makeup journey.
For sure.
And we're probably quite happy without the AR AI type side of life, but that's not the consumer that's going to, help to carry this brand further along to their next generations.
Mhm.
So we have to meet them. We have to meet them where they are, or just say, hey, have you thought about this? Because they're
Mhm.
usually bringing the technology. They're the ones inspiring the new technology. And yeah, hey, we're inspired as well.
The conscientiousness of the brand is really quite inspiring and also shocking. It's not I speak with tons and tons and tons of entrepreneurs every month, and it's rare to hear like such a like you're championing the effort to make sure that they're never forgotten. It's really impressive that a company of that size isn't just paying attention to the numbers and making that be like the guiding light for what they build out and what they do where and when. It's it seems a very honest approach to kind of ensuring not only that your customer is getting what they want, but you're taking care of the newer ones to come in. Like that's really so precious of a thought because you do want to make sure that that younger consumer understands, like, no, 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 there is a place for you. Here it is. We're going to show you what's what. Speaking of, what would be your top four simple, basic makeup pieces that you would recommend for someone maybe young and they're starting to get into the makeup game? They're going to go to CVS or Target later today and they're going to pick out their next four little bits to add to their lineup. What would you suggest?
Well, one of our number one items is our contour palette. And honest to God, I never experienced a contour palette prior to getting to Black Radiance because, I just kind of did my thing and eyes and lips and boom, I'm out the door, pretty confident on, what I might look like. But our contour palette was even voted by Mom Junction as the thing that they buy their teen who is experimenting with cosmetics. So
Mhm.
as you look and see a lot of influencers when they're doing their makeup tutorials, they're using some sort of contour palette. And so this is our True Complexion contour palette. So in this, you're able to contour, sculpt, and highlight in one palette for roughly $10 or so. And you have a little
Crazy.
guide in here. And so, yeah, I actually contour now just a little bit, because I don't want to look that dramatic. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, like you can see just a little bit of something going on here. And I'm like, contour palette. So I'm actually watching the influencers contour, and they're putting on a lot of makeup. And oh my gosh, you wonder if they're not using Black Radiance and they're using all these other products, they're spending a lot of money, to contour before they even get to their color, right? They're doing all the cover up and then they're contouring. Well, here you can do this in one palette. So this is um, a love that I don't contour every day, but when I go out, I
Mhm,
contour. Some people contour every day, but this is like one of our number one sellers.
mhm,
Um, but like my boss will hear me say, "Oh my God, soft focus, soft focus." If I could do like a advertisement endorsement, soft focus is my go-to, and that is this palette right here. This is soft focus, so I wear this
ooh,
absolutely every day, and I'm ashamed to say how much I used to spend on some of the more expensive powders.
mhm,
But this soft focus, it's got I use a big brush and I just like do my whole face when I'm done. But that is probably really my number one because I wear it every day. Contouring I
mhm,
don't do every day. Um, but soft focus I do absolutely every day because it when you put it on, it just makes you feel like velvet. You know, like even touching my like before any other product, I would touch my skin. It didn't do anything for it.
mhm.
I fell in love with soft focus because not only did it just like this micro granular or something that just like fills you in, and it just like I don't know, it just makes me feel smooth and glow. And then when I would touch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is
Mhm.
amazing. And so and the first shade, I just love it, love it, love it. And it is that is my go-to absolutely every day. Like toss my other, I still have my old, more expensive ones, do not use them. And that's my go-to. And I think that so my you told me like maybe three or four, like four different things.
Yeah.
Um, well, because oh well, first of all, let me talk to you about this. This is our new palette called Starstruck. This is what
Ooh.
Regina King is wearing, and what I love
Ooh.
about this Starstruck, and it came out right during I would say the award season, right?
Mhm,
So it's like very tonal, and one of the trends right now is like glimmering. So these are all
mm.
very tonal. I would say like your complexion tones, but it's got glimmer right in it, some
So
shimmer,
beautiful.
and I'm wearing it today. You can't tell, but it's just a nice touch
Yeah,
where I feel like I have some makeup on, but I'm not overly made up. And then
yeah.
my other, like, oh my gosh, I'm wearing pretty sexy. That's one of my reds. It's a slightly deeper red, but if
Ooh.
because I don't want to wear like a deep red every day, I tone it down with extra hot, which is our lip lacquer, and that's this one.
Ooh.
And so this one has a glimmer in it too. I wear this without any lipstick, but today, of course, we're on camera, so I have a little bit on this. So I tone it down just a little, but I absolutely 100% love this. This is my
That's
favorite,
beautiful
favorite,
too.
favorite.
Ooh.
And we just have so many, but like because so for me, you know, unless I'm going out, I'm not going to be too made up. This
Mhm.
Starstruck palette, we, you know, sent it to Hollywood, you know, like, hey, like the stars are wearing this and soft focus. So I think, yeah, I pretty much have those as my like everyday. And what I do when I want to wear something nice, like we have our perfect tone matte lip cream, right?
Mm.
So these two, this one's pretty sexy, and this is brown sugar. I can like outline my lip in the slightly darker brown sugar, and
Uh-huh.
then go in and fill in with pretty sexy. So
Oh,
and then
they're so beautiful.
and these last all day. I mean, I'm not kidding. I would go, oh my gosh, my lipstick is still on, which I did not experience with other brands prior to Black Radiance. And
Mhm.
so I easily switch to the matte, and then I just go in and top it off with a little extra hot. Just
The
bueno, bueno. And
even through the camera, I'm sorry, even through the camera, they look so rich. Like you can
they
see
are. Yeah.
it, it's like pigmented and
Hmm.
just like perfectly. Like it looks so much, it looks like an experience that you're just gonna pop it on, be so
Yeah.
happy. And for anyone that's not watching video, when you were opening the contour palette, it took me back
Hmm.
in time
Hmm.
because I learned how to put on eyeshadow. I have hooded eyes
Okay.
via the eyeshadow palette that I bought when I was, I think, probably 13 or 14. And I
Hmm.
couldn't figure out how to get any color to show because my eyes are hooded. And
Hmm.
it literally showed you step by step, put this one here, that one there, that one there. And I think that's also such a beautiful little extra to just throw in there for someone that's new to makeup. Maybe
Mhm.
they're young and it's their first time. It was
Mhm.
something for me that back then you either had what you gave me in the package or I had to wait for 17 magazine to like do an article about it or something,
Right,
you know?
right, right.
So it's really impressive and like kind of effortless that you're also giving that extra added bonus of like physically telling them how to use the product.
Yeah, and in our new package refresh that will roll out towards the end of the year and early next year, we even updated our guide, right? So you
Mm.
can see sort of the advances and experimentation of various influencers and what's been working. And so now our guide is even going to be updated further. So really exciting to see
Wow.
how we're able to work with our partners, influencers, and then some people who aren't paid influencers, they are
Mhm.
really telling the story, and you're just like, wow, they spend a lot of time making themselves up, and then that's sort of my entertainment sometimes at night, just watching what they're doing and how they apply that. Oh, I would never have thought of that. And
Yeah.
they're teaching us some of the
Yeah.
time. So,
Oh,
so again, it just taking the time to listen to what they're saying or what they're doing. It's their experiments that are helping us meet their needs. Yeah, because
mhm.
sometimes they're mixing certain things. That means if they're mixing too many things, that means somebody's not meeting their need, right? So that's where our
Mhm.
contour palette comes in, where they don't have to bring in all these colors. It's like just go by, light to medium, medium to dark, or dark to deep palette and get your needs met within one palette.
It's insane to think that you are literally given so much market research and data straight from the mouths of babes via
Hey,
social
yeah,
media. This
yeah,
is something you would have had to do focus groups for, pay agencies to
right.
have people doing demo, like so
Exactly.
much money, so much time, so much effort. And it was always contrived because it was like an event. You would go do this thing. To have people naturally tell you what they think and what they feel while they're, shooting the shit with their camera while they're getting ready to go
Mhm.
out. Like
Yeah.
it's priceless. I mean, it's just so crazy that you have that access.
Right. And I'm going to jump back to Regina King's makeup artist. I mean, she has one makeup artist. And for them to request Black Radiance for this cover, that speaks volumes. That says, wow. And then look at the people she's able to influence by saying, hey, who did your makeup, or what are you wearing? And she can say, I'm wearing Black Radiance head to toe, top to bottom, and that is like we're floored, because you just don't know who's actually using you unless they post. And most of the time,
Mhm.
celebrities don't have time to post,
Mhm.
unless they're going somewhere. And so that to us is when we hear that people are really that our product resonates, or that or something they were gifted, they were
Mhm.
thrilled about. That means the world. And speaking of gifting, Black Radiance supports HBCUs, historically Black colleges around the country, and because college students can't afford to buy makeup, so a couple times a year we gift through certain programs in various different schools. They will get a little bag from us, and that goes a long way, especially during homecoming season. And
Mhm.
we all remember what it was like to be a college student. Makeup might
Mhm.
have been your last thought, you know.
Am I getting a cheesesteak today or am I going to buy new lip gloss? Which is it?
Right. Or, if you're in art school, you have books and you have supplies. So, I mean, I went from like Syracuse University to Moore College of Art, and I thought it was going to be cheaper. No, it was probably more expensive because I needed books and art supplies. So, and fabric and canvas and everything else. And it's just like, oh, yeah, I don't think I probably wore makeup hardly at all, rarely in
Yeah.
college.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
So,
So funny. But
we feel for them. So we
yes.
always support them in any way we can. So, and again, that's rewarding too, because when they do get their jobs, when they, that they're able to go out and they go, what, I remember, we got these gifts from Black Radiance.
Mhm.
So, or they, their parents or mom or somebody, was using Black Radiance, and, but then they were gifted something, and then everybody likes a little gift for free or something like that every now and then. And those are our way of sampling, give them something that they didn't think they needed or wanted, and all of a sudden it's in their purse. This is their go-to.
Ugh. It's I'm like blown away from getting this behind the scenes aspect of the company. It's so like crazy for me to be talking about this brand because it's literally one of the first makeup brands I ever knew about and I could remember and then started using, and then how important it was to all of my friends, and how much it made them feel just beautiful, and they, you know, could wear what they wanted to wear and match their eyeshadow to their outfits, and like it was
Mhm.
just such a something that can be very easily overlooked, but at the time it made all the difference in their life. And it was just an honor and a pleasure to speak with you today. And it's
Oh, thank
so
you. And likewise, I'm just honored to be interviewed and to be able to speak about this amazing brand. You know, Black Radiance is doing so much, has done so much, and is just looking forward to growing with our consumers.
yeah.
We're nothing without our consumers, right? Without our audience, and it's a very inclusive brand. You know, and we're just trying to level the playing fields out there that we have you covered.
Mhm. It's so beautiful, and it was an honor to share. I have one final
Likewise.
question though,
Oh, sure.
and this we'll let this one be for you, Sherry. How do you make your life rich?
How do I make my life rich? Well, without a doubt, it's my faith. You know, my relationship with God. You know, if I did not have my faith, then I wouldn't be here sitting here talking to you. You know, there have been opportunities that I have been given and gifted that I'm able to bring even to Black Radiance. You know, my previous histories or accomplishments has been sort of God given. My talent in the arts. You may have a talent, but I was able to go to college and amplify those and get experts to teach me how to be better at my craft. And being better at your craft means you can offer somebody something else. So it's my faith in God that really gets me up every day, allows me to go to sleep at night, or just gives me the energy to be excited about doing something different or making a difference in people's lives. We know that we're making a difference, but because there's been a difference made in my life. And if I didn't have that difference, I don't know where I'd be, you know, but I am just grateful for the opportunities that I've been given and the opportunities that I've been able to give others, intern students, because to whom much is given, much is required. So, and I
Mhm.
believe that. And I've been given much, and I like to give much. And I see that as my life goal, you know, that, and I'm giving it on a creative level. My creativity is everything to me. You know, gosh, if I weren't being creative, I'd be bored to tears, you know. But, you know, and it's a lot of hard work. You know, I will tell people like what we post and things like that, that's the glamorous side. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of grunt work and a lot of
Mhm.
heavy lifting.
Mhm.
But our job is to make people look good. So whether was designing, you know, women's collections, baby wear, whatever, um, we're still designing, right? And we're still trying to help people live their best life. And I'm living my best life. So again, if I weren't fulfilled, I would not be able to help other people live their best life. And I think that's what Black Radiance does every day. Doesn't matter what nationality. Um, we're helping people live their best life every day. Put your best face forward and keep moving. And we're with you every step of the way. Wherever you're going to school, we got you. You know, if you're going to work, we got you. You're going to the club, we got you. You're going to the red carpet, we got you. You know,
Yes.
we have you no matter where you're going. And we're happy to do it. We're happy to be part of our consumers' journey because that's what we do it for them. Well, now
Oh.
for me because I wear it, you know. But it's nice to know that the thought process is there and that somebody's thinking about you. We're thinking about you. We have the lightest skin tones to the darkest skin tones. It's like, what does she need? Well, how
Mhm.
can we meet her needs? What does she want? You know, and you know, meeting people's needs helps their journey and makes it a little bit more simplified and enjoyable. So we know that we're bringing smiles to people's faces every day because they're looking in the mirror and they're applying Black Radiance, and when they're ready, they walk out the door. They ready,
Hmm.
you know. So we could get really granular and to the psychology of why people put on the colors that they do. Why do they do the things that they do? Who they're trying to impress? We're part of that journey, no matter what you're doing. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
It is exciting, and your impact is monumental in so many different areas and communities and different uses, professional, like normal people. Like it's just so I'm completely amazed with everything you've done while being there. You can absolutely see your influence when you entered into the picture, and I'm just so excited to see what happens moving forward with the brand and where you go and what you do with it.
Well, thank you. And it's a big team. It's not a big team. Actually, we're a small team, but we have a lot of support here at Markwin's Beauty Brands. And I think without that support, there's nothing one person can do by themselves. You
Yeah.
have to be a team player. But there's vision, right? The vision is
Mhm.
is the key, and somebody's got to keep their eye on the customer, eye on the trends, and really analyze what's going to make sense going forward for our customer. Like, and then and then sometimes something has to go away, like, okay, and then there's a thought process and going to make room for something new. Something may have to go away, something might have to get retired, or maybe one color didn't do so well, so you got to pull it back, just to make room for new. And that's how we stay innovative. So there's this, not to say revolving door, but yeah, in order to add something new, something might have to go away because the shelf space not changing necessarily, right?
Yeah.
So you got to fit it all in and see what the retailers, your partners, are going to accept. And again, the data doesn't lie, because
Mhm.
I want to say consistently across the board, just because you have a different retailer, you may get the same sort of information, like, or this color is not working, or this is blowing out the door, like the replenishment, like their backstock, they need to replenish quicker. So when you've hit a home run, and when it's time to retire something as well. So yeah, it's a process. It's a whole
Ugh.
volume,
Yeah.
textbook type stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah, I hope that this episode really helped you guys to understand all that goes into not only a makeup brand, but large brands of this size and of this maturity level. A 30-year brand is absolutely, we'll call them a unicorn of sorts. There aren't too many brands around that can state that they've been in business and at the top of the top throughout that entire time frame. It is just so special, so rare, and I just am so thankful that you gave us time to kind of share that with us and give us an inside peek at all things Black Radiance and what you've been doing with them.
Thank you so much. I mean, I am just beyond honored that you would want to interview us, and or me. And yeah, it's very, it's very. Paris is waving goodbye, but you
Bye,
know,
Paris.
you don't even think about all that you're doing until someone says stop and articulate. How you inspire people every day. And I'm also a former college professor, so I'm constantly thinking about who whose lives are we changing. Can I help somebody along the way? So that's one of my goals too. And can I teach them a craft, or can I bring them into an industry that they never thought they could be in? And I think this conversation, like, you're starting to see now more and more articles of African American women in the beauty industry. Like, now, like on LinkedIn, you start seeing more and more articles or essence saying, who are the players out there that are in this industry that used to be not as inclusive as it is today? And now you get these powerhouses of these major brands that are really paving the way for the next generation. And I
Mhm.
think that's part of my goal. I think I did that in the fashion industry, and now I'm able to do that in the beauty industry, is pave the way for somebody else to come in and be that future, be the future chemist, be the future brand managers, be the future VPs, be the future of an industry that is now an open door to people of color. So,
Ugh,
so I think it's very exciting that we're just in this great time and space, and we have to take advantage of it and bring our genius, bring our skill sets to the table, because they're marketing to us, right?
mhm.
How can you market to someone if you don't know who they are, where they live, where
Yes.
they've been? And that, I think, is, in my opinion, the secret sauce of
Yeah.
any brand strategy, is like, how do you resonate with the people you're marketing to? And if you
Mhm.
don't understand them, there's going to be a disconnect at some point.
Mhm.
But when you understand them, when you live in their communities, when you talk to them, I think you have a better chance of succeeding and resonating with them, because you are them.
Yeah.
And I think, a huge difference.
100%. And it's just so rare of a thing to have, which is gross. And I think it's really impressive that the company not only focused on a very diminished opportunity that just makes no sense to not put so much time and attention behind,
Yeah.
but it also speaks volumes that they have a woman of color in a position to be truly changing the face of the beauty industry and not allowing it to be relegated to a white male with an excellent, portfolio of something of some sort, but to have there be a deeper understanding at the core of what the woman or the person utilizing this product wants, to me, like, that's all that matters. It's
Yeah.
literally all that matters. And for that to be first and foremost what you focus on is what made me cry earlier, because it's so special that this attention is being paid and that it's being paid with um, genuine love and purpose behind it. I speak to so many entrepreneurs and leaders, and the ones that make me feel so happy about our future are the ones that are truly putting love at the forefront, care, attention.
Yeah.
We see you. We know what you want.
See
Like,
you.
it's just so special, and it wasn't at all what I expected today. So thank you for
Oh,
that
thank
little
you.
treasure.
Thank you.
It's just so special to see such a big company as Black Radiance putting in such delicate care and love into everything you do. It's so beautiful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
We could talk all day. We better jump off.
We could talk all day because I am a talker.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much. I'll be following you, and just thank you so much for having
Oh,
us.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Sherry.
You're welcome. Bye bye.